Be inspired, informed, and up to date. Tune in to TRAXX Momentum interview feature of the day at 11:15 a.m. Join us as we speak to our panel of guests on various topics. Health on TRAXXs on Monday. Tuesday, Spectrum. Wednesday, What Matters? Face to face with our guest on Thursdays. And on Friday, tune in to W Talk. TRAXX Momentum, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. only on TRAXXfm.
Do you want to know more about women empowerment?
Good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of
Hey,
W
how's
Talk.
it going? This is TRAXX Momentum with me, Diana, on the Friday edition.
Good morning and welcome to W Talk. Right, Women Talk.
Welcome back to W Talk. It's calling you in the studios of TRAXXfm.
Tune in to W Talk every Fridays from 11:15 to 11:45 a.m. only on TRAXXfm.
All right, hey there, good morning, welcome. As you know, it is a Friday, and Fridays mean one thing and one thing only on TRAXXfm at 11:15. It is W Talk coming your way, and every week we feature very, very, very experienced women in their field, especially those who have made major strides. And talking about major, today we have a Major retired Shera and Bosco, who's a former military officer and founder of Caring Moms, and the topic today is game changers. Good morning and welcome to the studio, Major.
Thanks, Karthik.
Oh, Karthik. Oh, well, actually, I go by KG. That's my real name. I've got my name tag on today. People know my real name now. Well, anyways, yeah, well, people already know my real name. So, but I'm KG, and on radio only. All right. So today we'll be talking about a lot of different things. But before we start, let me just read out to our listeners some of the accolades that you've already been, given. Now, you have been featured by the World Bank as a women leader, the East Asia Pacific region 2020. You have been also awarded the Asia Women Leader Singapore 2019, Exceptional Women of Excellence New Delhi 2018, Global Accelerator Program by Magic. You were selected for that in 2018. You are also a panel speaker on leadership at the Star International Women's Day, and also you've also been awarded Best Academic Paper. So you have a lot to your name, including the very, very impressive title of Major. All right, so it's wonderful to meet you today, and you know what? Let's go straight on to the question, shall we?
Yeah, right. All right.
All right. First of all, congratulations, of course, on your prestigious awards. Now, can you tell us a bit about yourself? And when did you join the armed forces? And also, why did you even choose the profession of going into the military? Because it's not very common. Right. So could you tell us more about that?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I am Major retired and Bosco. I am, if I may expose my age.
Okay, by all means. I'm not going to ask you.
46 and I've been serving the armed forces for 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I was serving the armed forces for 22 years. I retired in 2018. Start something on my own. And what inspired, little bit about me. I have a son who's 13. And the question was, sorry.
What inspired you?
Okay, what inspired me at that time, it was 1994. We never had social media. So every time we decide to look for scholarships, it was always the New Straits Times.
Yes.
The newspapers, the mainstream media and things like that. So at that time, I wanted so badly to get a scholarship.
Yes.
So by whatever means it was, I said, okay, let me get a scholarship. And then I saw this armed forces recruitment going on, giving you a 4-year degree program, fully sponsored.
Wow.
With allowances.
Wow.
And I said, I'll just try and apply. And then I got it.
So how did you feel during that moment when you decide that you tried out for something, although it was out of the field that you might have wanted to go into? You tried out for it, and then when you got it, how did you feel during that time?
I was shocked because I was never the person who was active in school. And suddenly they make you run 1 mile and then they make you do these obstacles and you surprise yourself and clear all these tests and everything. So I was actually very much in a fog. I don't know anything about the armed forces life. I don't know. There was no social media to highlight or to Google what's life like for a person in the military and like that. The only thing that I wanted was, at the end of the day, was a degree.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I just, the feeling of sometimes it's just better not knowing.
Yes, I understand that.
Know too much and then you start to overanalyze and then you start to have this fear. I just went in not knowing anything.
Just put one step forward and the next foot
Just
forward
one
as well.
step and one step and one step, and 22 years just went by like that.
22 years, that is a very, very long time, especially in the armed forces. Now, in the initial stages, how was it though for you, considering that you said you were never active in sports in school, like moving on to an industry where discipline is the key core of everything? How did it feel moving on to that lifestyle?
So I've always lived with my family, and I'm from KL. I'm a KL girl.
Okay.
Urban living was the living for us. We used to go here, shopping here. Suddenly, at 18, we had to live in this place where there's nobody, there's no family at 18. Was really a culture shock, for us living away from family. You just miss them a lot. That's the first thing I can remember. Of course, in terms of fitness, you have never experienced anything if you have not joined the army.
Wow.
They will convert you from a civilian into an army personnel. First 3 months, we have an orientation, like sort of like a conversion from a civilian. So you're not a civilian anymore. So when we are there, we're always looking at, look at that civilian,
All right. So it's like...
You guys are civilians.
I am a civilian. So
Tough, it was tough. I cried until I had no more tears in my eyes. It's just moving just one day at a time.
And it was not only the physical aspect of it also, right? The mental aspect also kind of comes into play, like in the conversion, as you said.
Definitely the mental, because the military training is not only physical, it is about mental training. So you have drills at 2 o'clock in the hot afternoon.
Ooh, not fun.
Physical training and obstacle courses at 3 o'clock. It is something that, sometimes you feel, can I even go through it? Sometimes the feeling is, why was I even born? I remember having that thought that I regret being born. So that came into like, I would be better off dead than going through all this. In Malay, they say, menyesal semenjak dilahirkan.
Wow.
Regret since born. Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? But that is how you train yourself mentally to be very strong. Because war is something that you don't want to go through. It puts you through extreme conditions, and you still have to appear very calm.
And also execute whatever's given to you.
Execute the mission given with mission accomplished.
Wow.
Mission
Ooh,
accomplished.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's amazing to think that something that would break you down to the core, something that would break down your civilian viewpoint of life and reinterpret yourself into a military person, right? And you bypass that I would rather die point, and then you're just at the point where, you know what, I'm living, I'm going to continue living. Right, so it's amazing to hear that, especially from someone who's been there. And of course, a big thank you for your service before that. I got to say that, thank you. Right, and was there any other inspirations that you had in terms of persons to allow you to join the armed forces? Was anyone there that, you know what, go for it?
I think my biggest inspiration is my mom. Because my mom, when we were growing up, she always said, she has 3 daughters.
Wow.
She always said, if I had 3 sons, one would be in the army, one would be in the Air Force, one would be in the Navy.
Wow.
So I decided to fulfill my mom's dream by being the boy or the son she always wanted by joining the armed forces. She followed me for my interview. She sent me to Johor for my training. She said, at the end of the day, Shera, you have a job for 10 years and you have a degree for 10 years. So my dad was a bit
skeptical.
Because daughters, So my dad was like a bit afraid. Mom was like, go. You should go and try. Like, she was never having that fear that something would happen. If you ask me now whether I would send my son, I would say no.
Because you've already been through it.
Because, I'm like, how is he going to manage? He's always been in the house. How is he going to do things on his own? But my mom, she never worried about that. She just like, you just go. She had that faith and that confidence.
And that is very rare.
It's really rare. She's such a gutsy woman, and she's still my idol and my inspiration until today.
Wow, I think her mental discipline is way bigger than any of us can imagine.
She's a very strong person, and I had my mom's blessing, which was I think the thing that kept me going. Like, she's always like, don't worry, you can do it. Don't worry, you can do it. She had that belief, and it built my self-esteem.
Wow, that's amazing. So I guess there is one civilian that you're afraid of then.
That's it. That's my mom. And now my son.
Your son. Okay, now talking about your son, right? Now you've been through all the disciplinary aspects of the military and they've drilled that down to your core. Do you still practice them in life now as a civilian with your son?
With my son specifically, yes. It means his bathroom has got to be washed.
Wow.
His bed has got to be made. His room has got to be clean. He has got to wake up. Even on Sunday or Saturdays, he has to wake up at 7. There's no such thing as sleeping late.
Wow, I'm scared.
That's the thing. Discipline starts at a young age.
Absolutely.
Yeah, until today, I still work out every day.
Wow.
And I still wake up at a certain time every day and make it a point to do my workout every day. Discipline is the key to success.
Absolutely.
Secret ingredient to success is your discipline. Consistently doing something, even though it's average. You rather be average and consistent than doing something once in a while and excel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for instance, if you do something an hour a day, but you do it for a year, that's 365 days worth of training, right? 365 hours worth of training right there. And you need that much to lose weight. It looks like I need to lose weight. I'm scared. Well, so let's talk about your role in the military. As a major, especially for us laymen and civilians, we don't know exactly what does a major do. So could you just tell us step by step, like after your basic boot camp and all that, what led you to become all the way to the major level?
Not basic boot camp, it's like cadet training.
Cadet training. That I'm using the American lingo.
So we go in as cadets and then we train to become officers. So when you join the service, there are two categories of military personnel. We have the officers and we have the other ranks. The officers are commissioned by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. So we go through separate training.
Okay.
Now officers wear their rank on their shoulders because we shoulder we sort of shoulder the responsibility. The lower ranks wear their ranks on their arms because they carry out the responsibility. Okay. So when I joined as a cadet after 4.5 years, commissioned by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong as a lieutenant or lieutenant. Then we move up the ranks from lieutenant to captain, and then from captain you move on to major. So every time you move up the rank, you have to sit for a promotion exam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? And then you have to fulfill the appointment in that rank.
Oh, wow. There are appointments as well.
Appointments as in you have to be a squadron commander. So when you become a major, then you have appointments like squadron commander or 2 IC of a regiment or, staff officer grade 2, things like that. So you have appointments to fill up as per your rank. Yeah.
So did it take you a long time to reach each rank?
Not really long. I went through the quite fast. I moved up to become a major quite fast. As you know, there's a pyramid. So we have like
a huge number of
lieutenants, and then it slows down, and then you got
smaller number of captains, smaller number of majors.
Yeah, so of course it takes a little bit of time once you from a major to become a lieutenant colonel, because there are so many appointments, limited appointments around. So you'll have to wait for your turn. It's very normal in any organization.
Absolutely. The pyramid is available in every different
organization. So you really need to be somebody who's outstanding. You really need to outperform everybody, prove yourself, especially when you're the minority, being a woman. And you really need to tell people that, look, I'm also very capable of the appointment.
So, but even moving to the level of major itself takes a lot of hard work, doesn't it?
Yes. So part of the things that I went through before I became a major. So I was posted to this appointment in Penang as a squadron commander in waiting.
Commander in waiting.
In waiting, meaning I'm waiting to put on my rank. So part of the task of a squadron commander there was, I think that one of the best experience was exercise Pasak Bumi. I have bragging rights now because I went through it. So it's like a 10-day walk in the jungle over 100 kilometers, and I had to lead the troops of about 50, my squadron, 50 people from my squadron. Wow. We walked through 3 states on foot.
I've never done that before. I can honestly say I've never done anything of that sort before.
Yes, so we walked 3 states on foot, and we carried 25 kilo loads together with our ammunition, maps, with our ration for 10 days, and I completed it all in one pack. No injury in my squadron. So having safety of your soldiers, of course, is of utmost important. And going through the Malaysian jungles, I think in terms of mental and physical, your mental and physical at that time, that would be the toughest thing I think I would ever done in my life. And until now, I still speak about it. And I ask myself now, how did I even go through that?
With your mental discipline, of course. Yes. All right. And for our listeners out there, now you might be thinking jungle is an easy walk in the park, but trust me, I've actually been into a jungle. It is not as you think it is. It's not, because there's so much different things
the
like that.
Malaysian jungle is a bush.
It is.
It's a bush. It's not like
the trees are not spaced out for you to literally just take a stroll around.
And then you have swamps, and then you have the weather.
The weather.
The rain. And then you have the mud, and then you have paddy fields.
Ooh, wow.
Paddy fields are the worst. Because you don't know where you are. There's no reference point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get lost in paddy fields, miles and miles of fields,
Just like deserts, right? Because you don't have a reference point, you might just end up in a circle.
You just end up in a circle.
Did you scare any farmers?
I think I did. Because it was like, oh, that's a lady.
Yeah. How did 50 people just show out of nowhere?
Yeah. And then we are wearing all these camouflage. And they'll be like, oh.
Yeah.
But the villagers are nice people. Whenever the armed forces do our exercise, they always put up drinks out there,
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's sweet of them. Thank you guys for doing that for our armed forces. Yeah. But you know what, Major, we're going to be taking a short break. Sure. And once we come back, there's more to talk about. All I'm afraid of is there might not be enough time. There's just so much to talk about. Right now, this is Check Yes Juliet coming away. Going to be back in just about a bit. Hey there, welcome back. That was Check Yes Juliet with the Kings. But we in the studio today, we do have a major, Shera and Bosco, former military officer, founder of Caring Moms. Today we're talking about game changers, and our producer today is Catherine Paul. We've talked to her quite a bit, a lot of different questions, a lot of very interesting answers, I gotta say. And right now I want to talk to the major about this one. As a woman, what were the challenges you faced in carrying out your duty in the military? How did you actually overcome them?
So there are two things I can think of from at the top of my head. So the first thing was the trust. So because you're a woman, people or your colleagues sort of don't trust you to do certain things. So much so that you really need to get their buy-ins or convince them that, sir, I can do this. And I said, why are you so overzealous? Sir, I can lead the troops. So if my troops are not going, if I'm not going, my troops are not going. But that's the thing. They feel that they still have that thing that sometimes women are the weaker sex. But I think it's up to us as women to prove ourselves that we are able to do it by not shying away from difficult things.
Yep. Even if it's physical.
Even if it's physical, the only thing that you have with you is you have to train every day. You got to be the hardest working person in the room.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The second thing I would say was, once you become a mom, then you have a shift of responsibility. Well, I got married quite late, I would say at 32 or 33. I had dedicated my life to be in the unit. Once I had a son, I couldn't spend that amount of time in the unit. I had to spend it for my son. So now, shift of priorities for me. When my son took the main priority, I would say that would be, but that's again about how you manage your time and how you manage your energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So of course you have to find ways around getting who's going to take care of your son, your family, you have things like that. So you got to find, so there's going to be a problem and you have to be a solution finder, finding a solution for the problem anyway.
Absolutely. But that's what the military does best, doesn't it? They always find solutions.
They give us problem and they say, here's your mission, go and accomplish it.
Yeah. And it's all up to you. And especially as a major, you do a lot of the solution finding yourself as well, right?
So being very proactive, that is how, because there's no answers. You don't know in the jungle where the enemy is coming from.
It's not written in a book.
The enemy is not going to tell you, Shera, I'm coming this way, I'm coming that way.
Try and stop us.
Yeah.
Nothing of that
suddenly
sort.
Out of the blues, you get them here, you get them there. You don't even know the enemy course of action.
Absolutely.
You have to preempt, you have to imagine. So that's what we do. So we have to always preempt the problem. Then we can always plan for the solution.
Absolutely. That's actually, I think, if you could sum up this interview, that would be how we sum it up, Find the solution, be proactive about it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Imagine the problem, find the solution, and wait for the problem to come.
And execute as much as you can.
Execute.
Yeah, well. And for some of the ladies listening, say if they're interested in the armed forces or, they want to join any of the other disciplinary corps out there, what would your advice be to them?
Firstly, don't think too much. Don't think too much whether this is for me or this is not for me. You just go to the website and find out, mod.gov.my. Go to the website, find out on how to join. Go for the interview, get selected. And remember, nobody is inferior to anybody. You don't say only a guy can do this or only a woman can do this. I had a lot of limitations. I crossed it. Obstacles are there. Women, you got to understand, mentally we are very strong. Physically, we may not be strong, but we are very strong mentally. Everybody has their strength and weakness. So if I say, somebody had to ask me what to do today if I decide to join the army, you ready to die for the country? You ready to die for the country? Then you ready to serve the country? If this is your calling to serve, just go for it. Remember, the bullet doesn't look for a man, for a woman, for a Malay, for a Chinese, or an Indian. Anybody can be the first one to take the bullet for the country.
Wow. That sounded like the Major. That absolutely sounded like the Major. Yeah. So if you want it, do it. If you want it, just go ahead and do it, right? And as you said, don't think too much.
Don't think too much. We overthink, we overanalyze, and then we have all these imaginary problems, and then we don't do it because of the fear, the false evidence appearing real. Ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that can happen if I join the army? The worst thing is die lah. So die lah.
Everybody dies.
That's anybody. Death is for sure. Nothing in life is certain except death.
And taxes.
And taxes. So that's the mindset that you should have. If you really want to serve this country, if you love this country, willing to die for this country, this is what you should do.
Wow. You know what? That's very well said. And right now we're going to take another very, very short break, just 30 seconds long, because this interview is very, very interesting for me today. I'm going to be back in just about a bit.
Do you want to know more about women empowerment?
Good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of
Hey, how's it going? This is TRAXXfm Momentum with me, Diana, on the Friday edition.
Good morning and welcome to W Talk. Right, Women Talk.
Welcome back to W Talk. It's calling you in the studios of TRAXXfm.
Tune in to W Talk every Fridays from 11:15 to 11:45 a.m. only on TRAXXfm.
All right, so welcome back to W Talk. We are talking to Major Shera and Bosco. She is a retired former military officer and founder of Caring Moms. We're talking about game changers. Now, she has since gone on from the military. You have been retired for a number of years now. You have gone on to found a women empowerment organization. What triggered you to start such an organization, Major?
Again, it was my son who triggered me to start this, because when I was having difficulties looking for a daycare and things like that, for him, I was like, why are there so many moms in the school just waiting for the school to finish and then pick their kids and go back? If they can also pick my son while I go to work, I don't mind paying them something more, and I'm sure they want the extra money. This is a simple thought, a simple thought, because I didn't want to send my son to these shop lot daycares.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
I don't like it. It's too many people, and So that's the idea. Then I started this, and then it just went viral in 2016. So that's like, when anybody asks me how did I start this organization, it started by a 7-year-old boy.
Wow.
My son.
You know what? I really want to know your son's name, if you don't mind.
Julian.
Oh, Julian. You know what? You are a big inspiration, my man. Absolutely. If you're currently listening, congratulations. All right. Amazing. So, starting from your son, you've decided to grow such a huge organization, and it went viral. And if I'm not mistaken, within the very first few months, you got about 30,000 people joining, right?
Yes, because then I realized there was a pain point. That there are women at home who were looking to supplement their income, and nobody were looking into the displaced women. These were lawyers, doctors, professionals who had taken a back seat because of motherhood.
Oh, wow.
Because of now I have to take care of my child. I cannot afford a maid. Maids were not reliable.
Absolutely.
So they said, okay, I have to quit my job, take care of my 3 kids. That would be the best option for now. So you had all these women who studied up to their degree and their masters and their professionals sitting at home very frustrated. So I'm like, why don't we just like help you make a decent income from home, from whatever talents and passion that you have? That simple idea, I think I did address that pain point. And then I hit the game point when everything just went viral and right now.
And absolutely, but I understand that particular aspect, right? Like, say for instance, someone got married, they have children. The man is not the one who's expected to stay at home and take care of the kid in the absence of a daycare. But women are expected to stay home, and even though they have the same qualifications, there's even sometimes even more experience than the men. So I believe that you are very right, understanding that point. Well, you know what? Congratulations on finding that, because that's not very easy to see at times. Yeah. So right now you've started that entire wonderful movement. So how is it right now? How is it today? How is it going?
I think it's been very interesting. The entire journey has impacted a lot of people in terms of they are telling me I can buy my husband a present for his birthday.
Oh wow!
I bought a car. So you see the result of just being at home, and you can still have that financial freedom. And more importantly, for women who are in their 40s, they tend to lose their identity.
Absolutely.
Who am I? Am I just somebody who takes care of the kids? And now with platforms like Caring Moms and things like that, you can tell people, I'm not just a mom. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a baker. I'm a caterer. I'm a speaker. I am helping change people's lives. So they find their identity. So you know what happens? Midlife crisis.
I understand.
And then you go through depression, and then from the depression you go through divorce. And so now more and more women need to realize that there's something called their own identity.
Absolutely.
Who am I?
Yeah, they are not just this person's wife or this person's mother. They need to understand that their name carries something as well.
They are.
I actually did say this very clearly with my mother when she before she retired, right? There was a point in time when we had issues going on at home, like between us, and she did say this: I don't know who I am anymore. It's just like, I'm your mother, I'm his husband, I'm his wife, I don't know who I am. Well, now she knows. She's a foodie. She's going around eating everywhere.
At least she knows. At least she has an identity.
Yeah. But it took her to the point of retirement to be able to understand that. And by the time you retire, that's like what, you're 50-ish, you're 60. There's only so much more that you can do.
And if I were to ask women out there who are listening, what are your hobbies? I can tell you many women do not have a hobby.
Yes.
Even if you ask yourself, let's say, like, I've met so many women who don't. I love dancing, so I do Latin dancing. I do a lot of fitness stuff. But many women don't even have a hobby, like baking and things like that.
Something individual to them.
Something that they like to do, some outlet. So turning your hobby or your passion into profits is what we do in Caring Moms. That's what gives you the step up. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. Especially that you're helping them out, bring out their individuality at the same time, giving them their identity back, and also allowing them to get financial freedom from that aspect. It's best of both worlds. Has there been any backlash due to this?
So you see, now I work 22 years working with all men, and then now working with all women. So it took me some conversion also.
Okay, all right.
So there are backlashes on this, and in any organization you will get those backlash, but
definitely,
it's just how you deal with it. Some people would think, what's my motive? Like I don't even have a motive.
You just want to help.
I just want to help because I'm from a service background. We die for the country. So this is, for me, in a way, giving back to the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we do get a lot of backlash. That's part and parcel of life, good and the bad.
But you've seen bigger backlashes back when you were still in active service.
The worst thing that I did was, I asked myself, can I even die? So all these small backlashes, all like, so jujubee.
I understand what you mean. For those of you who don't know what a jujubee is, Google that up. Rajinikanth said that. Right, Rajinikanth, yeah. Well, anyways, what is your greatest achievement so far?
I would say my greatest achievement is finding happiness.
Wow.
Like, not many people can be happy wherever they are. Or not many people can say that I'm happy and I'm content, I'm fulfilled. So at this point of my life at 46, I'm quite happy. I'm very happy, in fact. I'm happy doing the little things. I'm happy that I'm able to wake up and do my 2 hours workout. I'm happy that I'm able to spend some time with my son. I'm happy that I'm with the family. So I think the greatest achievement in life should not be how much money you own in the bank or how much money you have in the bank. That should not be the measure of success or happiness. For me, or achievement. Achievement for me is finding happiness.
Absolutely.
Even being by myself, I can still be happy.
Yeah, and not many people can say that.
Yeah.
Not many people can say that. It doesn't matter how many years you live. All it matters is how happy are you in those years.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love that. And as an award-winning leadership coach and speaker, what are your thoughts on empowering women?
So, okay, yeah, you might be gonna get a bit of shock when I say this, but I would say empowerment is for all. Women have hijacked the term empowerment so much so that we can't even use the word men empowerment, when in fact everybody needs to be empowered, especially those who are marginalized, men who are marginalized, women who are marginalized, maids, pets, children. So if you ask me, empowerment we should talk about human empowerment. Empowerment is for all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's no reason for women to be unnecessarily empowered, because everybody is born empowered, unless someone halfway removed your batteries and then you were disempowered. That's so much so you need to be empowered. This is my thinking about women empowerment, women who want to become men. That's wrong. Why do we want to become like another person? You should be the better version of yourself today than you were yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
So that is my take on empowerment, and that is my I want to hear some men empowerment talk soon. I've never heard men empowerment talk. Men are supposed to be empowered 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and I feel there's so many men out there need to be heard as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that, Major, because you've worked with men, and I do believe you understand some of the stresses that they face as well.
I do.
All right. And you know what? Before we end to our interview today, because I already had our last question, is there anything else that you would like to add before we end the interview?
So, if I had a message for all people who are listening out there, I would say, always, they always say sky is the limit. Change that. Have a limitless mindset. Believe that you can do anything that you want. Never put a limit. Putting the sky is a limit. Always it's about, thinking that, okay, let's do something today and do it. And also another thing I would like to impart with the, they say success is in the implementation. Let me tell you, it's not in the implementation. Success is in the speed of implementation. And the speed of implementation is 24 hours. So if you want to do something, because many people want to do something and then they say, I'm going to start losing weight on Monday. Never procrastinate. The best time to take action is within the next 24 hours.
Do it as soon as possible.
Do it as soon as you can. So limitless mindset, speed of implementation, you are there.
Oh, wow. Amazing topic today. Alrighty. And with that, it has been a really, really great interview today with Major retired Shera and Bosco. She's a former military officer, founder of Caring Moms. She's been at both worlds. She has been a military person. She's now a civilian as well. Can we call you civilian or just retired?
I am a veteran.
You are a veteran. That's the word I was looking for. Veteran Shera and Bosco. Don't mess with her. That's for sure, because I did hear her Major voice earlier. It's a bit scary. Alrighty. And with that, W Talk is over for today. We'll see you guys next week on TRAXX.